Liverpool 4, Southampton 0, and I'll tell you right now, straight away, obviously it being 4-0, beautiful result for us, fantastic result for us, but it doesn't tell the whole story. 4-0 looks like it's a very emphatic result, and it really is probably more emphatic than it deserved to be, if we're being honest. If we're going off the first half performance and you compare it to the second half performance, it gets said every now and again about certain games, a game of two halves, and this was the literal embodiment of that once again. The first half for us, in fact, I'm just going to dive straight into the stats here, and the stats in total, I want to look at the first half first of all. Now, the stats in total, Southampton outshot us in the first half, and I think they may have. No, they didn't in the second half. That's when we turned it on. That's good. That's good for storytelling purposes. So, they had very, very minimal possession. We had 68% possession in the first half, 32% Southampton had. And they had 10 shots in total. They outshot us by 2 shots. They had 4 shots on target, right? So, obviously, the job that Alisson has done in this game has been fantastic, unreal. Great positioning, the defence actually getting back and protecting the goalkeeper as best as possible. But when that isn't possible, and they are either... There were certain times when Shane Long and Danny Ings were causing so much havoc between the two of them. It came down to Alisson, and he was there. He was absolutely fantastic. They had 4 shots on target in the first half, 4 blocked shots. So I think blocked shots can also come down to saves as well. 4 goalkeeper saves, that's what it was. 4 goalkeeper saves. So it tells you straight away the importance of Alisson in this game, and the importance of Alisson anyway. He's just such a fantastic goalkeeper. I don't even understand how, I can't even put it into words, how great Alisson is for us. He's fantastic. The entire defence is good. But yesterday it took until the second half to click. And Jurgen Klopp said this in his after-game press conference yesterday, that he had to change the role of Fabinho slightly. Now, I haven't seen him elaborate on what that was, but you saw Fabinho having much more of an influence in terms of winning back possession, helping out the defence a lot more, but actually making more use of the ball going forward in the second half. But in the first half, like that, I desperately remember on like the 44th or 45th minute or something like that, I think Joe Gomez was trying to kick it out with his weak foot or like clear it. He's being closed down from behind, doesn't anticipate the danger, and that was probably one of their best chances in the first half, was that little Joe Gomez mistake, or not anticipating the press coming in from either Shane Long or Danny Ings, I can't remember who, and it might have led to a shot at Alisson. It was saved anyway, obviously didn't go in, but I'm thinking once that half-time whistle blew, I was like, this is exactly the sort of game I was expecting. I was expecting a very, very tough game. I was expecting probably one of our more difficult games against a team that some people probably won't even think, oh, it's Southampton, we should be able to get past these guys. They've been in great form. They really have. Danny Ings has been brilliant. Shane Long's been brilliant. Their wide players have been very good. Nathan Redmond and such like that as well. I mean, they even had, Ward Prowse, he was playing right back or something like that. I just want to double check on that as well. Was he playing right back? He was, and you know what? He was their second highest rated player behind Danny Ings. According to this app, the SofaScore app, which is ridiculous, because obviously their right back has just gone to Arsenal, but he's injured. So Ward Prowse played there, and he actually did very, very well. Now, then we dive into the second half, and everything is different. Everything is different, literally from minute 1 in the second half. It's fantastic. It really is. Now, you can see literally what has happened, obviously, by the start of the second half is either they've probably not really had much of a bollocking, but more things have changed. Tactically, something has changed. And we were getting crushed by Southampton's press in the first half. We had the majority of the possession, but their overturn of play and possession was killing us. Whenever they got the ball, it felt like they were threatening us. In the second half, we turned it on them. And that was the best thing about it. It seemed like our intensity went up, all of our effort went up, everybody just had their tails up in the second half, and none more so. Now, I will come to the penalty calls later on in the video. I will do, definitely, because I do think that the penalty shout that that should have gone against us, like Danny Ings being taken down in the box. I do think that was a penalty, but anyway, we'll come on to all that sort of business a little bit later on. Now, I think it was it Andy Robertson fired a ball forward. Roberto Firmino, I mean, he's walked out of this game with 3 assists today, and I'm quite gutted that he hasn't got a goal, but Jesus Christ, like unreal. Yesterday he walked out with 3 assists and no goal, but still unreal. What a beautiful little flick in behind to set Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on, and what a finish by Chamberlain. I think that's back-to-back games now for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and unreal, absolutely unreal. Like he is just such a magnificent player, and now that he's hopefully putting that injury to bed that he had, and he's really starting to find that form that he had before he got injured. I think was it 2 seasons ago. He's really starting to get that form back. Start to find the back of the net as well, and it was a brilliant goal, absolutely fantastic. Then we move on into the 60th minute. Jordan Henderson, man, Jordan Henderson. Absolutely fantastic. And again, this was another case of Bobby Firmino doing what is underrated work. It's underrated by everybody else that's a Premier League fan and has a Premier League club as their team that they support. They don't understand what Bobby Firmino does because they look at it and say, well, he's not scoring goals, he hasn't scored in nearly a year at Anfield. That's not what matters. It's not, because what he does is something completely different to every other striker, every other number 9 in the entire world. Absolutely. Find me someone else that does what he does. Unselfish. The man is the most unselfish player I've probably ever seen. Genuinely. He's fantastic. And he sets it up on a plate. To be fair, first off, what a fantastic reactionary pass by Trent Alexander-Arnold. People are slating him, and his performance wasn't the best. But that pass up to Bobby Firmino was unreal. Henderson comes back from an offside position. Bobby Firmino carries it, and then he just lays it off to Henderson, touches it once, and then touches it again. Bang! Right top into the back of the net for 2-0. And it's clinical from here on in. It really, really is. From this point, Southampton made 2 changes, which may have actually been a bit of their downfall, because they sort of lost a bit of attacking impetus, in my opinion. They took off Shane Long, and they also took off Danny Ings at the same time, and they brought in Obafemi and Che Adams. Now, I'm not saying that they're bad substitutions, but why not, if you're a Southampton fan or whatever, why not keep on a Shane Long or keep on a Danny Ings, especially Danny Ings, who's been a very clinical player in front of goal. Why not keep him on and bring on like an Obafemi just to freshen it up or something like that? I don't know, but obviously I'm not the manager. Hey, never mind. They made those substitutions on the 70th minute. In the 71st minute, it's in the back of the net by Salah, and it was a brilliant ball. I can't remember who fired the first ball when it landed to Henderson, but then Henderson put it into the path of Mo Salah. Mo Salah absolutely beautifully just dinks it over the goalkeeper, and it is 3-0 at that point. And then you start to see our substitutions come in as well. Naby Keita came on for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, which is great. Obviously, we get to see Oxlade-Chamberlain get that nice round of applause. Minamino came on for Wijnaldum. Minamino could have had a goal at one point. I remember there was a ball it was put across the box, and I think it was Salah that put it across. And I think if it had been left for Minamino, it had gone in. But it came, I think Naby Keita came in right at the same time and took the shot on his weak foot, and it went into the crowd. But then we go to the 90th minute here, and again, Bobby Firmino into Mo Salah. 4-0. Absolutely wonderful in the end. Really, really great in the end. And it's really awesome to see in the second half. You go and look at the first half stats here. When Southampton had 10 shots, they had 4 shots on target. Second half, they had 7 shots, none on target. We had 8 shots, 5 on target, 4 goals. Fantastic. And that is how you turn a game around when it's not really running for you. You're not really thinking that you're going to get the rub of the green. And people are obviously looking from outside in, thinking this is going to be the game. This is going to be the game that Liverpool are going to lose and all this. So especially Arsenal fans, because they don't want us to go invincible. But we started creating much more chances. Now, obviously, like the penalty call. Now, there were a couple of penalty calls the most notable one was the Fabinho challenge on Danny Ings, mainly because the counter-attack led to our goal. Now, when I did look at it, and I looked at it when I saw it happen in real time, I literally grit my teeth and just went, that looks like it's a penalty. For me, it looked like a penalty. When I saw it in slow motion, I still think that it was a penalty. Like, if that had gone against us and it was the other way around, I would be furious. I really would be furious. I don't know. I understand why Southampton fans would be, and obviously other fans around the world and stuff like that, about from other clubs and stuff, because they're looking at it like Liverpool this year, and it's just not. But I'm not going to get into that. I can totally understand why they feel hard done by, because if that is given as a penalty at that point, then yeah, it could. I'm not saying it would change the course of the game, but it might actually give Southampton. It then gives Southampton something to hold on to, which would have made it probably a bit harder for us to break down, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah, like, I can understand that one. I really can. There was another one for us, and it's gone out of my head. It really has gone out of my head, and I don't know what it was. Oh, no, it was Firmino was fouled on the goal line. And he genuinely was fouled. Like, I don't understand it. Like, he was genuinely fouled. I remember listening to the commentators at the time, and they were just like, there's no way that that's going to be a foul. And I'm like, are you joking? Like, he's on the goal line. He's setting himself up for what would have been a free header. Like, really? They're both as contentious as each other. Those two, for me, actually, they're both stone wall. They are. The Fabinho one on Danny Ings, that should have been a penalty. If it had gone that way against us, like for us, the other way around, as I said before, I'd be gutted I'd be very, very furious about that. But the same thing can be said about Firmino getting fouled in the goal line. Free header, which should have been classed as a goal scoring opportunity, taken away from him because he's hauled down. He had arms around him, all that sort of. I mean, come on. So yeah, I think there were things that are on both sides, and obviously our penalty call was earlier. Again, that could have turned the tide of the game straight away as well. But listen, the main thing here is 25 games played, 24 wins, 1 draw, 73 points. We now sit currently, and this is recorded before Tottenham and Man City play, currently at this moment at 2:15 on a Sunday afternoon, we sit 22 points clear. We then go into the break. We then go into this break. I was going to call it the winter break. It's not. It is the winter break. I was going to say international break. Never mind. We go into this winter break now. We obviously have the FA Cup on Tuesday with the kids and stuff like that. Fair play. But yeah, the fact that this is phenomenal. 22 points clear at this stage is just, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And as much as I still have a fear of Liverpool, I'm still not committed enough to turn around and say we are going to win the league. There's still a tiny fear right at the back of my head here. There's still a tiny fear that it might not happen. And that's purely just a slight pessimist in me that feels that. But this is just ridiculous. Whether we go unbeaten or not, I genuinely don't care. I really don't care. I really don't. But what we're doing right now has barely been seen. The closest to it was Man City 2 years ago. So we've really got to look at this team, this Liverpool team, the juggernaut, the Jurgenaut that it is. The Jurgenauts, no, oh god, and really appreciate it. Honestly, like the characters and the players that we have and the work that they've all done, unreal. Absolutely unreal. Gonna do a shape of the top 6 during next week as well, seeing as it is a break and gives us a chance to talk about other clubs as well after all of the football has been played this weekend. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Let me know what you think ahead of the Shrewsbury replay as well, and then our next Premier League game, whoever that is against, because I can't remember. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you later.